Good afternoon, everyone. Just sharing today about dangerous prayers. There's actually a book written, maybe by John Bevere, I think, by Dangerous Prayers. It's a really good read. Um, Today I want to share a personal message that God wanted me to share about my own life and a prayer that I prayed. At the time, wouldn't have known the terminology dangerous prayer. But as it turned out, that is what it was. God. Uh, Moved me, and I believe this is the way it is always, that God moves us even in prayer through the Holy Spirit to pray exactly what we need so that He can prove and work in us what He needs to work in us. Um, so I prayed to God this prayer. It was I would, that He would be able to build faith in me no matter what the cost, no matter the experience, no matter um, just without any restraint. Whatever it was, I would be willing for it and gave him full control. And I truly meant it. Basically, take off the gloves and do what you need to do to build faith in me. Um, I, at the time, actually believed faith was something that we built. But since this time, and this, especially this prayer and what God ha caused to happen in my life or allowed to happen, was that He built it. And He has constantly proved that prayer after prayer and vision after vision, dream after dream. Um, yes, that He is doing that work in me. And I have nothing really to do with it other than just allowing it to happen. So, sometime after that prayer, my health began to deteriorate. I have a really bad back, and it got worse. And it got to the point that I could not work at all. And then eventually, 3 years after that, I stopped working. It got to the point where I could not walk at all. And I was having seizures up to 40 a day and ended up in the hospital. And it got worse again to the point that I couldn't sit up without blacking out in pain, or trying to even move a few steps would cause me to black out. So that was a condition that I got to. But 8 months before that, before it went even more downhill, more drastically, God had told me before that this was coming, not in detail, but that it would get a lot worse, and to be okay with it, He was going to be with me in it. And I just love that. Like, He has done that in His mercy in more than one occasion for me, and He continues to do that. Sometimes, yeah, I don't. The message that He gives is heavy, but it's mercy, um, because then it prepares me, and He works with everyone differently. Some people wouldn't be mercy for them because they wouldn't see it that way. But for me, it's mercy. Um, and it builds faith. He was building faith in me to know that what He tells me is true and to know His voice. And there's another thing that I prayed, that God would help me know His voice. And He actually showed me this about His voice, is that He gave me the understanding that if I just ask about even the smallest thing in my life, no matter what it is, every day, ask Him, maybe try to ask Him 20 or 30 questions at least about whatever, and He'll answer them, every single one. Maybe He'll just say, well, that doesn't matter, or I have no opinion on that, or, but He will answer them because He wants you to know His voice. Um, in any regard, during when I ended up going into the hospital, it ended up being 3 months in total, but the first 6 weeks I was there. By the end, they had figured out at least where the pain was coming from. And they were able to give me an injection that helped me be able to at least walk a little bit. And then they discharged me, and there was a kerfuffle, and things did not go as planned, and I ended up having to go back to the hospital for another 6 weeks. And that time they were able to start tapering off a lot of the pain meds so that I could get more stabilized. But that whole journey was a difficult, in that even after I got out after 3 months, that I was still, it takes a long time to get off 7 different narcotic pain meds, mentally and physically. And so that was the next year of life, was extreme depression. As a result of that, largely, but also because of the situation. And what I came to realize afterwards is that God was using it to build faith in me. And what was going on in that, like it was every day, every moment, I did not want to live. Every, I had no care to live. Had no energy to live. It felt like there was just no, yeah, it was a despair, like beyond despair. I can't explain it. But what I can say is that I would pray a very feeble prayer and God would answer it every moment, every breath, sometimes certainly it was so many times a day, I don't remember. It felt like it was every minute. Um, and he would prove to me that he had heard and he had answered it because I would get the strength to go through it that I knew I didn't have. I knew I didn't have the strength to get through that moment. I just did not have it. And he would give it to me. And he proved it. And that repetition for a year of very, very long days and extremely long weeks. And I couldn't even think about the next day. The next day was too much. It was too much to think to the end of the day because I couldn't even bear the moment. But he would give me the strength to get through each one. And I see, and he answered, and he confirmed to me that he was answering that prayer I had prayed earlier, building faith in me. And I'm not trying to say that God brought the experience itself, because I think life brings experiences regardless. And even the prayer that I prayed, I don't take any glory in that because the prayer, I believe even God is drawing us to pray what we need to, the right prayer. So he in the end is all in all. He in the end is the one that draws himself us to himself. We have there's nothing that we can glory in except the cross, that Jesus himself has given us such a beautiful um, opportunity to have salvation through him and to get to know him so very, very personally. Um, and one of the verses I like to mention is First Thessalonians 5:17. It says, "Pray without ceasing." And God was just proving to me that I could depend. I could depend fully on Him. And He continues. This journey is not over by far, and He continues to prove this to me. I mean, even asking me to share YouTube videos. Honestly, I personally think it's insanity, but here I am doing it anyways because I know that what God says is true and it's worth it. Um, and he's caused me to realize that he works in mysterious ways. And I've been helped so many times by a message from someone that they shared on YouTube that I'm sure they don't know, but I know it will be recorded in heaven. Jesus said in John 15:17, "If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you." That God's promises are completely and utterly sure. They may not come in our timing, but they do not ever fail. Um, and we know this because underneath the altar in heaven, there are prayers that haven't been answered, but they are not forgotten. And this is our God. Malachi 3:16, it says, "They that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and thought upon his name." Like God is that involved in our lives that he records every thought of him. Nothing will be missed. Like it says, he knows every hair in our head. Well, he knows every thought in our mind. And it's not so that he can judge us, but rather that he can know us. And this is the confidence it says in John 5, 1 John 5:14 to 15. This is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. And if we know that he hear us, we know that we have the petition we desired of him. And like our prayers matter, your prayers matter, everyone. They do move heaven and they do touch into eternity, and because prayers are eternal. Um, an amazing thing is Jesus' prayer for us. He prayed this. I love John 17 in its entirety. It's well worth studying. Jesus facing death, like he himself. Oh, and someone shared this with me the other day, like facing death. He is facing death. And he, right before he died, he says, "With desire have I desired to drink this cup." Like here, our Savior. Why did he desire to drink that cup? He knew that he was drinking the cup of their sin. It was not his cup. It was his cup because he was willing to bear our sin. And he desired because he loved them and he loves us. Now, Jesus in John 17:11 says, "And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. Holy Father, keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are." So he prayed for his disciples and not only them, but also everyone that would believe through their message, which is you and me. And he prayed that prayer knowing it would carry eternal weight. And he still stands as our intercessor before God. Revelation tells us the prayers of the saints rise like incense before God. And Acts 10 tells us that Cornelius' prayer came before God and God sent an angel in response. Prayer is not ever a wasted breath. It is a heavenly action. I would like to leave you with something that I truly love in Luke 12:32. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And John 16:33, these things have I spoken unto you, that ye might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. If you've been asking God to build faith, don't be surprised if you head into a wilderness experience or things challenge you in life. They will come regardless. But let God build faith in you. Trust in him, lean on him. He will come through. And you will, I have no regret on anything that's ever happened to me. I have only joy that God has worked through me and in me and built something that is eternal within me. He is faithful and he will build something eternal in you. So fear not, for he loves you. And it's a message I'd like to share today. Thanks so much, everyone.